Good blessed Tuesday morning, September the 21st, 2021. It's about 10:36 a.m. First, I'd like to greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you proclaim toughest to the proclaim weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me or anything I put on social internet. It doesn't matter if you give me a thumbs up nor a thumbs down. It doesn't matter if you give me criticism or compliments. I welcome them all. I greet all of you all with that same universal greetings. It doesn't matter if you're light-skinned or dark-skinned. It doesn't even matter if you're white, black, or any other race or nationality. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. It doesn't matter if you're big or small. It doesn't matter if people declare you good, bad, or ugly. But I look at good. I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I don't think God made any creatures ugly. So I want to speak about something today to let all of my family, friends, and all of my family and true friends and my true followers know that last week, Thursday, I believe, which was September the 16th, 2021, I received a call from Murphyboro, Illinois, from the prosecuting attorney's office there, who deals with Jackson County, the county that my son's body was found hung or lynched on March the 19th, 2021 in Carbondale, Illinois. The lady on the phone said she was the victim's advocate. And to the best of my knowledge and understanding of a victim advocate contacts, they works for the prosecuting attorney's office, and they contact people who either has been victims or they are witnesses for a victim or family members of people who may have deceased family members that was victims. I asked this lady, did this mean that my son was a victim? She said she wasn't in liberty to talk about it, but she set up a date for me to go talk to the prosecuting attorney. And any family or friends or true friends of my son Brian, you know, I know of a couple people in Carbondale, Illinois that are really friends of my son, because they wasn't afraid to tell me, even though I can understand them not wanting to communicate with the police, with their experience with the police, but they was able to give me enough information to say and know that my son didn't commit suicide. But anyway, I'm going to meet with this lady this coming Thursday, I believe, which is September the 23rd, 2021 at 2:15 p.m. I have invited a minister friend of mine in Southern Illinois that I trust, that I've been known for years. We was up under the same bishop. And I invite anybody else that said that they're truly my son's family and friends to come. I'm letting it be known that I don't want anybody else to be there besides the prosecuting attorney, the victim advocate, I guess law enforcement gonna probably be there, or the coroner or pathologist. But any of you groups or leaders in Carbondale, if you haven't been speaking up, which you haven't, if you haven't been speaking up openly out in the public in front of these news meters like you're doing everything else about concerning my son, then don't go show up, because I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask the prosecuting attorney to let you excuse yourself because I don't see any purpose for you being there. Because there's no group or organizations, no preachers, no leaders, or nobody else speaking up in the open like you have in your marches for people that don't even live there. And may they rest in peace for George Floyd. May he rest in peace for Breonna Taylor. May she rest in peace. But you haven't had any marches for my son. You haven't even had any protesters. You haven't even spoke up. But I'm going there myself. And I want y'all to keep me in your prayers. And I'm going to let you all know, won't nothing surprise me. You see what I'm saying? What I may hear at this meeting with the prosecuting attorney and the victim advocate. You know, I know a few things. I know my son Wally was found 4 blocks away from him on Sycamore Street, where his T-shirts was found in the 400 block. His food stamp card was being spent by a school teacher who teaches for the Carbondale, Illinois Rebound High School that's on Sycamore. My son's body was found hung on the 3rd floor in the 400 block of Sycamore in the Gaslight Apartments, and in the 200 block of Oakland Street, his body was found, the 400 block. And in the 200 block of Oakland Street, North Oakland Street, my son's food stamp card had been being spent while he was alive and after 39 days after he was found hung by been spent by a school teacher that works at the Rebound. Her and her husband had my son's card. And for what the husband told me, I asked him how much was he giving my son, and he said he don't remember because him and his wife have many other people's food stamp card. What do that tell you? That's a crime. The wife working at the Carbondale, Illinois Rebound High School as a parent educator. The husband don't know where he work at, but he works with these grassroots programs that's supposed to be trying to help people, but he's spending the homeless people's food stamp card when they dead or alive. He said he was my son's friend, but I haven't seen him make no marches in the community since my son's death, and my son been dead. Today would be, I believe, about 186 days. You see what I'm saying? And I ain't seen no marches. But I did see him march, him and a couple of other black Muslims marching with the Palestinians in Carbondale, Illinois, when the Palestinians and when the Israelis was giving the Palestinians a hard time over in the third world countries, not here in the United States, not there in Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County, but in another country. But this black individual who white school teacher wife, they was spending my son's food stamp. Neither one of them was marching, but he marched with the Palestinians for peace. And he protected them until they got back to the cars. But they said this same black individual called himself a Muslim, going around taking food to the homeless people at the same time, getting the homeless people's food stamp card and spending them. Only drug dealers take a person's food stamp card and keep it. From June of last year until May of this year. And my son had been dead since March the 19th, 2021. But I'm hoping when I go there that they gonna tell me that they gonna arrest these people. Both the man, the husband and wife should be charged with a state charge for the food stamp card because the state issues the card. They should be charged with a federal crime because the federal government, they issue the money that go on the card. My son was getting food stamps in cash. So if my son was getting food stamps in cash and you got his card, what type of money could you give my son, you see what I'm saying, to pay for his card or keep his card all this time? Some people may be scared to talk up against some of y'all because you got big families that been in criminal activities or you've been convicted of murder. I've been convicted of manslaughter twice. Not proud to say it, but somebody was trying to take my life and I took theirs. But I don't care how many times you've been convicted of murder. I don't care what gang you in. I don't care if you're the chief of all chiefs. I'm going to demand that you and your wife be arrested and charged for misusing my son, even if he had mental illness, and at the fact that he was on drugs. Y'all didn't care nothing about him. When you found out he was dead, you didn't offer to pay for none of the funeral, and y'all been using his money. But I'm gonna see what the prosecuting attorney gonna do. I'm gonna just tell you something about the coroner. The coroner classified my son's death as suicide on June the 23rd, 2021. Never contacted me at all and told me about it. The only reason I knew about it, the funeral home that we had my son's body sent to in Chicago, they contacted me and let me know. The police department, I don't know when, but they done closed the case. They done completed their investigation according to this phone call I received from the victim advocate this last Thursday, September the 16th, telling me that the police department has completed their investigation of my son's death, and they sent the paperwork to the prosecuting attorney, and the police department did just like the coroner, the Jackson County coroner office, Illinois office, Jackson County coroner, Illinois office. They never contacted me and told me that they declared or certified my son's death as a suicide. Even though on the 25th of March, the police department declared that they had a death investigation going on. And on the 16th, when I got the call, the death investigation had been going on for a minimum of 176 days. My son had been dead for 181 days after I received the call from the prosecuting attorney's office saying that they want to meet with me and discuss the conclusion of the police. I sent an email to the police department, the female that handles the Freedom of Information Act, which I gave that I filled out one on the 5th of August, and she got back with me within, I believe, 5 days. On the 12th of August, she said that she can't. The investigation is still it's an open and active investigation, so she didn't send me anything. She couldn't give me anything right then and there. So on Thursday, the 16th of September, when I received this phone call from the prosecuting attorney's office, victim advocate, I sent the email back to this lady again for the Carbondale Police Department, who handles the Freedom of Information Act, and asked her, do I have to resubmit a Freedom of Information Act to receive the paperwork and the reports, the pictures and everything else on my son's death, since the prosecuting attorney's office victim advocate told me you all sent the paperwork and it's complete. They wouldn't even have the respect to call me or even email me or text me and let me know that they completed the police report. That's go to show you how much respect that the leaders in Carbondale, Illinois, including the NAACP and any of these other people that's been doing all these marches talking about stop the violence, the coroner's office, ain't none of them have the respect to call me and let me know that they completed the thing. And one other thing that I want to say. 3 ladies that can vouch that my son wasn't suicidal because they dealt with him more than the police or anybody else dealt with him. And that's the Woman Center and the ladies that worked it at the Samaritan House in Carbondale, both of them in Carbondale, Illinois, which the 2 ladies that worked it at the Samaritan House said the police never, the detective that's doing the investigation, he never talked to neither one of them. He sent a juvenile detective to talk to them. One of them he talked to in person. The other one he talked to, she talked to in person. And the other one, the juvenile detective talked to her on the phone. And they never talked to him again. They don't want to hear the story that on March the 11th, 2021, when the police department, the hospital, and the paramedics to tell you that my son was sent from the Samaritan house, the homeless shelter, which is the Samaritan home, to the Carbondale Memorial Hospital because he said he wanted to commit suicide. That's what they said. But they ain't going to tell you what this other lady said, that she told him the only way that you can get admitted to the hospital and get help, because my son, before the police and the paramedics came, told him he was afraid to leave out of that shelter because somebody was going to do something to him. He also said that he wanted to get off of drugs. He wanted to get away from Carbondale. He wanted to get in some type of treatment program, to get off them drugs, to make himself better, his life better. But the police ain't going to tell you that. They going to tell you his mental illness was so bad that he committed suicide. They going to tell you he was so addicted to methamphetamine and other drugs that he committed suicide. But they ain't going to tell you that same day on March 11, 2021, when the police showed up, the same sergeant that's everywhere with my son dead and alive, they ain't going to tell you that these two ladies said my son was afraid to go with the police. Why would he be afraid to go with the police? But when the paramedics came, he went with them gracefully. He wasn't afraid of them. But y'all keep me in your prayers. I don't know what these people going to do. I don't know what they going to say. But if they don't say what I feel that happened to my son, you see what I'm saying? Because I don't know what type of investigation the Carbondale police did. Now, they doing a third one with this female that got killed from Chicago because the FBI is involved. You see what I'm saying? They did a partially thoroughly one in some of the other ones that the newspaper was involved. But you see, they got connection with SIU. The Egyptian newspaper wouldn't publish. They wouldn't even talk to me to hear my son's side of the story. SIU, the NAACP chapter in Carbondale, Illinois. But you see the president on everything like she for blackness. She ain't for blackness. She for herself. Her and all them other individuals that got them degrees, doctorate degrees, they for themselves. They ain't for the black people. But let me just say this here. One thing about God. If my son don't get justice Thursday from this prosecuting attorney's office saying that they have an active murder investigation or somebody being charged, then I'm going to keep on fighting. Because that white woman that had his wallet, she should have been thoroughly charged. The white woman that allegedly found his t-shirt, she should have been thoroughly charged. The white female that was spinning his food stamp card when he was dead and alive, she should have been thoroughly charged. Her husband should be thoroughly in charge. But we going to leave for right now, y'all. I want to show you something that my oldest daughter made. It's something that's with me and my mother. May she rest in peace. See, my mother, she would demand me to keep on seeking justice for her grandson. And I'm going to do it, Mama. I'm definitely going to do it. I want to show y'all something else before I clock out. My second oldest daughter, she got this frame to put this a poster that one of my neighbors, a good friend of mine, he's like a young brother to me, this justice for Brian Lamont Johns. Rest in peace, son. We got you. You see, you have people that call themselves activists. But the NAACP president and all them that's following behind her, they're actors. They're not good actors because the city of Carbondale don't even respect them. They just had a peace march this past Saturday. They had a peace march in Carbondale, Illinois, marching from the NAACP, I guess, headquarters, or the NAACP president and most of her members' church to the pavilion downtown. The NAACP president, a black woman, former school teacher from Chicago, Illinois, she came, but she came late. And when she came late, she came to the pavilion, not for the march. She was selling tickets for a sneakers dance that day. Ain't that something? And the president's a chairperson for the criminal division from Chicago too, that deal with the civil rights. She was on her Facebook page. She deleted me, and good thing she did. You see what I'm saying? But she was on her Facebook page selling tickets for the same thing. That goes to show you what the NAACP stand for in Carbondale, Illinois. I don't care how much education you got. You can't get to heaven perpetrating a fraud. Peace be still.